To take the power out of thoughts, you can ask yourself, what is worry or anxiety or fear? And you'll find that they're simply thoughts that have gone unchecked. They have developed, they've gained momentum, and they've developed into sensations in the body. And Robert Adams said, when your thoughts take on a feeling nature, you give them power. But when you refuse to take on that feeling nature, the thoughts disappear. So we tend to believe that external circumstances are the cause of our thoughts and emotions. We think, that person upset me, or that situation stressed me out, or something along those lines. But is it really true that something seemingly external has any power over you? And what if the real cause of these thoughts and emotions is something deeper? What if something else is going on? So, what if the external event isn't the cause, but the trigger? And what if the emotions within you that are already there are just looking for a way to surface? They're just looking for an outlet to be released. So it's impossible for anyone to make you angry or anxious or upset. And when you no longer have any repressed emotions, that you find that something that happens that maybe used to trigger you no longer triggers you, no longer has any power over you. But if you have anger or sadness or fear or something along those lines buried inside you, then life has a way of mirroring that back to us. So if we have suppressed anger, we attract situations that trigger anger. If we've suppressed sadness, we attract situations that bring up sadness. If we have suppressed fear, we attract experiences that will amplify that fear. So it's like life is always reflecting back to us what we are holding inside us, what we've fully yet to process. So, how do we take the power out of thoughts and emotions and really begin to release all of that? So, the first thing is to see thoughts for what they are. So, thoughts are not facts. They're not facts. They arise on their own without your control, and it's like clouds drifting through the sky. If a thought comes up that's saying, I'm not good enough, or something along those lines, does it make it true? And the answer is, of course not, because it's just a passing thought. The thought isn't your truth. So it's the moment that you begin to believe it and you begin to have some sort of feeling reaction to it, you give it meaning and you attach that feeling to it, then it takes on power. Then you start to believe it and you start to integrate it as your truth. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to fight your thoughts. You don't have to analyze or push them away. You don't have to do anything. You just simply notice and recognize that it's just a thought, it's not real. And just like that, they begin to lose their grip. So, secondly, allow suppressed emotions to surface. Instead of running from uncomfortable emotions, allow yourself to feel them. If anger arises, notice where it shows up in the body. Notice if you have a tightening in your chest or if your fists begin to clench. Instead of reacting or suppressing it, just observe what's happening. The same with sadness. Feel it without attaching a story. The simple act of allowing emotions to be felt without judgment, without resistance, just allowing them to be there, it begins to release their hold over you. And the more you do this, the less these emotions will need to be mirrored back to you through external situations because they've been felt and they've been released. Thirdly, stop feeding the thought loop. So, this is something we're all guilty of. Thoughts feed on your attention. The more attention that you give the thoughts, the more you entertain them and the more they grow. So, if you can imagine thoughts as guests knocking on your door, and if you welcome them in, if you serve them tea and engage in conversation, they'll stay. But if you simply let them knock, you don't open the door, you're aware of them, you have that detached awareness, eventually they'll leave. So it's not suppressing the thought, it's being aware that it's there, but it's refusing to engage with it. It's not diving into the train of thought. So the final step is to shift into awareness. So begin to notice that beyond thoughts, beyond your emotions, there's something deeper, and there's a space of stillness, of pure awareness, where there are no thoughts. And that awareness is who you truly are. So you're not the thoughts, you're not the emotions, you're not the passing sensations. And when you rest in that awareness, the thoughts lose their power. They can still come up, they might still be there, but they no longer control you, they no longer have power over you. So remember that worry, anxiety, fear, they're all just thoughts. They're never who you are. And they're just like passing waves. And you are the ocean. So stay present and remember the truth of who you are.